is First Coast News on your side.
An uninvited visitor making a mess at 3 o'clock Sunday morning. See the exclusive video and hear from the homeowner who wants an explanation about all of this.
Plus, Floridians in their 40s are now eligible for a COVID vaccine. We're on your side tonight, tracking some sign-up issues, the governor's push to keep your vaccine status secret, and a closer look at one of the big questions you may have about these shots.
It's unacceptable for the kids or to be forced to walk and bike on this sidewalk.
It's a story we've been following for years. Young kids in St. Johns County forced to walk to school just steps from the 9B on-ramp. Thanks for staying up with us tonight at 11. I'm Heather Crawford.
And I'm Anthony Austin. We'll have those stories for you in just a moment. But first, let's turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Tim Deegan. Tim, there might be some wet roads out there in the morning.
Now, your most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, sponsored by AC Designs.
And sometimes all it takes is just wet roads for a messy morning rush. So let's take a look at where it is. Instead of looking off to our northwest, because it's not a cold front. In fact, last night's cold front has become a warm front, and this is what's coming back toward us through the afternoon and the evening. Now we've watched this large area of rain and even some thunderstorms over the Gulf of Mexico start to come back our way with the front. Now, if you're going to be out and about over the next couple of hours, maybe a sprinkle or two, but a couple of these showers and thunderstorms, in fact, will zoom on in. So here's the First Coast. Again, nothing showing up right now, just barely a sprinkle approaching I-10 between Lake City and Tallahassee. But you do go into the Gulf of Mexico. There's a couple clusters of thunderstorms, and I'm not so much painting where the thunderstorm is going to go as much as the leading edge of rain. So the leading edge of rain will be getting in toward Columbia, Baker, and Union County by about 2 to 3 in the morning. And I think this might be a better picture of what overall happened. So yes, might there be some thunder during the morning and lightning, which is always dangerous? Yes, I'm not concerned about damaging winds, just highlighting the fact that there could be a few thunderstorms within a larger area of rain. And notice as we go from 2 in the morning to about 5 in the morning, we can start connecting the dots as other areas of rain develop to our south and then gradually expand over the area as we head toward the morning rush. What's beyond the morning rush? Well, plenty of changes. We'll check them out in just a few moments.
Thank you, Tim. Little kids walking to school just steps from the on-ramp to 9B, and lots of cars. We're talking about a lot of cars passing by, and those parents say they're worried about their children's safety as they walk to Liberty Pines Academy. And after a trailer loaded with tree branches rolled over in a crash near there this morning, they want action. Our Haley Harrison spoke with those parents. That story all new at 11 tonight.
Grass on the edge of the sidewalk whips as cars fly by toward the 9B ramp. A sidewalk where 9-year-old Bella Edwards missed a rollover crash by minutes, riding her bike to school back in November.
It felt very scary, and I felt like that something was going to happen to me.
Another Liberty Pines third grader, Molly Bragg, has only heard about the crashes.
I'm nervous because I never wanted to walk on the sidewalk ever again.
In 2019, the school bus services to the girls' part of the St. John's Forest subdivision was discontinued after the sidewalk constructed as part of the 9B project was built, putting them within the 2-mile radius of the school.
She doesn't take it because it's not safe. I mean, it's just, I'm not comfortable with how close the sidewalk is to the road. I'm not comfortable with the speeding cars.
From the end of January 2020 to the end of January 2021, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office recorded 20 crashes, 41 citations, and 103 warnings in the St. Johns Parkway and 9B area. Earlier this month, Bella's mother, Claire Edwards, requested the Florida Department of Education Commissioner and Superintendent Tim Forson to reinstate the school bus to their part of the nearby neighborhood via special authorization or citing hazardous walking conditions.
Recently, 2 weeks ago, we got some endorsement from Senator Hudson and House Representative Cindy Stevenson and some of the commissioners.
In response, the St. Johns County School District says Superintendent Forson sent this letter to the Florida Department of Transportation dated March 18th, requesting a review of the roadway to see if a hazardous condition exists. However, the district says it has not yet received a reply back.
We're very hopeful that they will do the right thing for the safety of the students.
In St. Johns County, I'm Haley Harrison, First Coast News, on your side.
It's a story we will continue to stay on top of. Haley, thank you. Well, after months of waiting, today Floridians in their 40s became eligible to get a coronavirus shot. In 6 days, that eligibility will expand again to everyone age 16 and up in Florida. Now, the state announced today that the vaccination site at the Gateway Mall will be able to give 3,000 first doses of the Pfizer shot each day. The federal site will stay open for 4 extra weeks until May the 26th. The Gateway location is open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m.
But that rollout wasn't entirely smooth sailing. Some newly eligible 40-somethings tell us they couldn't get online booking systems to allow them to register. They took those concerns to On Your Side's Robert Bradfield, who has a closer look tonight.
When Nathan Montgomery logged onto his computer Monday morning, he was not expecting to wait 3 hours for a COVID-19 vaccine appointment.
It was very frustrating because you're like, I'm been waiting for this. I'm ready to get into this group of people and wasn't able to.
But that's what he says happened after trying to sign up through CVS's website, which lists people 40 and older as eligible. He got this message saying he was ineligible.
There were like radio dial options there, and it had like 50 and up and, you know, military or police or first responder, you know, it had some different options. But the 40 and up was not an option initially this morning.
He searched other vaccine websites, but says their information was not updated either, with the age requirement at 50 and older. Montgomery believes the state can do a better job coordinating the updates to reflect the changes on the healthcare sites at the same time. He says they were not prepared.
I think that, you know, having that information ahead of time, you know, certainly, you know, could have put some focus on making sure that it was ready to roll out first thing this morning.
He was eventually able to get an appointment at his hospital for the middle of April. The state reminds you registration is not required at the federal vaccine sites. They are first come, first served. Robert Bradfield, First Coast News, On Your Side.
And just ahead of the newscast, we're going to take a closer look at the process that cleared the vaccines for emergency use. Governor Ron DeSantis has said in Florida nobody will be required to get a vaccine, and now he's calling for lawmakers to pass a bill preventing the government or private companies from requiring anyone to prove that they actually got a shot.
It's completely unacceptable for either the government or the private sector to impose upon you the requirement that you show proof of vaccine to just simply be able to participate in normal society. You want to go to a movie theater? Should you have to show that? No. You want to go to a game? No. You want to go to a theme park? No.
The governor also signed a new bill giving companies extra protections against lawsuits in court. It requires plaintiffs prove a gross negligence if they get sick with the coronavirus. And this all comes as Florida's 3,600 new cases in the last 24 hours is the lowest one-day total in more than a week. Georgia confirmed 825 new cases since yesterday.
At the White House, President Biden called for Americans to resist the urge to rush back into normal life. And he called for local leaders to keep rules requiring masks in public to stay in place.
I'm reiterating my call for every governor, mayor, and local leader to maintain and reinstate the mask mandate. Please, this is not politics. Reinstate the mandate if you let it down. And business should require masks as well.
Now, it was just last Friday that Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry ended the mask mandate in Duval County. Curry's office did not offer a new statement in response to President Biden's remarks. Last September, Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order preventing local governments from issuing fines or penalties against people who ignored mask mandates. Well, if you live in Duval County, you have until April 9th to apply for emergency grants to cover your rent and bills if you qualify. The city of Jacksonville is providing almost $29 million in federal funding for low-income residents. That money can be spent on up to 1 year's rent or utility payments. To see if you qualify, just head to firstcoastnews.com. Tonight, police in Jacksonville are asking for your help finding a person who beat a Wendy's employee with a tire iron overnight. Police say an employee at the restaurant on Southside Boulevard in the Tinseltown area was attacked just after getting off work. The suspect, a man dressed in all black, demanded money. Witnesses stepped in. That suspect ran away. The victim was taken to the hospital with some pretty serious injuries. And if you have any information that could help police catch this attacker, call Crime Stoppers at 866-845-TIPS. Clay County deputies say a shipment of drugs caught at the Mexico border led them to a drug lab in Keystone Heights. Deputies say Cody Clifford allowed them to search his home earlier this month, and they found a lab in a shed used to produce DMT, which is an hallucinogenic drug. They also say they found guns, ammo, explosives, and a marijuana grow operation. Clifford now faces federal charges.
Do you want to do this? Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
Caught on camera in St. Johns County, a couple says their doorbell camera was rolling early Sunday morning when a woman rolled up to their home and just started making a mess there on the front porch. It's a story you'll see tonight only on First Coast News.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
Ian Faulkner and his wife Charlotte say they have no idea who this woman is, but apparently she wasn't happy with what was at the front door of their Rivertown home.
She tried to tear down our compass, which I've had for 10 years.
In the video captured by their Nest camera, you can see the woman take their welcome sign and then kick their potted plants,
which are not lightweight by any means, so she might be feeling the effects of that.
When the woman was done damaging their property, she walked to her car. That's when she heard Millie the dog barking.
When the lady heard that Millie was barking at the end, she started some cursing.
After screaming a few choice words, the woman jumps in her car and speeds off. These are pictures of the damage the Faulkners found a few hours later.
I was scared. I mean, you don't expect to see something like that on your front porch.
Faulkner says he still feels safe in his neighborhood. He just wants to know who this woman is so she can get some help.
I don't know if it's some sort of addiction or what it is, but it was apparent that she was under the influence of something.
So, besides the damage you saw there, the woman also broke one of their sprinkler heads. The Faulkners contacted the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office and filed a report. If you recognize that woman, if you know what happened, contact the Sheriff's Office.
You're watching First Coast News on your side with Heather Crawford and Anthony Austin.
People just sight unseen that are just buying houses without even really looking at them. You've got to be prepared for the fallout of what you might have to take care of after the point of sale.
Would-be home buyers say the First Coast real estate scene is a major seller's market. Some areas right now are so hot that you need a big pile of cash and a lot of luck just to make an offer. But buyers' pressure to skip safeguards like inspections and appraisals, well, they could be setting themselves up for some major expenses or worse. Jeff Valens taking a closer look for you, all new at 11.
Yeah, 2 hit the market, but not ones that I went and looked at.
That's been the last week of house searching for Jesse Rivers, who's been looking for about 6 months now. It's tough for him and other hopeful buyers because sellers right now are enjoying bidding wars, often demanding that buyers even forego appraisals.
If it's a house that you feel good about and you feel that will retain its value and all that, then I'm actually okay with that part of it.
Zach Roth is a board-certified real estate attorney. He says many sellers are demanding yet another waiver.
Absolutely a huge risk for buyers is that inspection.
How big a potential peril?
It could be plumbing issues. I mean, it could be roof.
You could be buying into a $200 fix, a $5,000 fix, a $50,000 fix.
But just as risk is in the eye of the beholder, tolerance of it is right here in the gut.
I'm not quite there yet.
And while he hasn't seen it and doesn't necessarily expect it, Roth says if sellers start demanding a waiver of title search, that could be disastrous for some buyers.
If you don't get title insurance, you may pay X amount of money for a property that you don't have clear title to.
And you get to the closing table and somebody else shows up and, oh, actually, I own the house.
No one knows how long the market will have sellers salivating.
Agents are telling people, look, we're putting it on at noon and we're going to have our decision at 5 because we're going to have a dozen offers by then.
In the meantime, for Jesse, the good news and the bad news are the same. He has lots of company.
My offer is pretty much like 30 other people's offers. And cross my fingers.
Jeff Valen, First Coast News on your side.
3 local congressmen are pushing a bill to create a national heritage area stretching across the historic First Coast. Today in St. Augustine, Representatives Michael Waltz and John Rutherford announced this bill, which Representative Al Lawson is also co-sponsoring. The nation's oldest port proposal would include portions of Nassau, Duval, St. Johns, and Flagler County. It would open the area to federal funding to restore historic areas, preserve old buildings, and research shipwrecks and underwater archaeological sites.
Was so that people would understand the international and national significance of our maritime heritage in this community. Because things are under the sea, because it's water, people tend to think that history stops at the water's edge. It doesn't.
There are 55 national heritage areas in the country, only one other one in Florida, the Gullah Geechee Cultural Heritage Corridor, which stretches into South Carolina.
Verify, we've been looking through the false claims and debunking misinformation, and the questions come from you. Questions like, is it true that the COVID vaccines aren't fully approved yet? Why haven't they been? And how long will that take? To get answers, we contacted the FDA, got info directly from 3 vaccine companies, and called up Dr. William Schaffner at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. We also spoke with Dr. Arnold Monto, who's the acting chair of the FDA's Vaccines and Related Biologics Advisory Committee, which is the committee that vetted all 3 vaccines. Our experts say that there are 2 ways to get a vaccine greenlighted by the FDA, an EUA or applying for a license using what's called a Biologics License Application, or BLA.
The only difference really between the emergency use and the licensure is that volunteers are observed for a longer period of time to see the duration of protection and if there might be rare adverse events that occur down the road.
According to Dr. Monto, for the EUA, it's an average of 2 months, but for a license, 6 months are required.
Basically, the duration of follow-up for safety, not efficacy. Efficacy requirements are exactly the same.
So between an EUA and a license, the EUA was the faster option to get the vaccines out. A Pfizer spokesperson told us that they plan to submit their BLA in 2021. Same with Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, according to press releases. And here's the thought that we want to leave you with.
These are really not only very effective vaccines, but wonderfully safe vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Now, your most accurate forecast from the First Coast News weather team, sponsored by AC Designs.
Effective and safe. Good to hear. So what about tomorrow's weather? Anything unsafe about it? Well, not expecting severe weather. Remember, severe is a measurement of whether or not there's going to be damaging winds or hail with thunderstorms. I don't see that. But dangerous? Well, it depends. Wet roads during a morning rush certainly can be dangerous as far as all of us rushing towards school and work. So if nothing else, maybe give yourself and your loved ones a little extra time. Now, this is a visual presentation of tomorrow morning at 8, maybe in the middle to the final 2/3 of the morning rush. Notice painting a picture that not everyone is going to have rain at the same time, but a broad area of rain with a few thunderstorms will develop, and there might be a second round later tomorrow as we'll continue to have ripples of energy go along until the warm front goes to the north of us. Now, by Wednesday, we will be in the warm air, not much in the way of showers and thunderstorms during the day and a warm day, but by late Wednesday, in fact, this time Wednesday night, a powerful cold front. Now, this is still west of Denver, but it's going to be a wind chill maker. That is for sure. No fooling as we head toward April 1st. What about thunderstorms? Well, although this cold front over the next couple of days will probably produce some severe weather out to our west, it looks like by this time Wednesday night, it'll be weakening as it makes it into western Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. As far as the thunderstorms are concerned, we'll keep you updated on that. Let's deal with the first round, though, and that is the rain. Should start early for many of us, again, increasing during the morning rush, but we'll still see some glimpses of sun. Remember, this is all happening because a warm front is headed our way. So despite the rain and an easterly wind, we'll see highs of about 76 degrees, 72 degrees on the coast. Again, be prepared for the fact there might be some rumbles of thunder, and that always implies 1 or 2 or maybe 3 dangerous lightning strikes around the area. Then for Wednesday, certainly humid out there and warm, but not nearly as much in the way of showers or thunderstorms. Highs of 86, that's officially. There might be some inland thermometers that on Wednesday make it up to near 90 degrees. But then comes that powerful front that's going to blow on through and will actually produce temperatures below average for April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and even Easter morning sunrise, which will be about 7:16. We'll have that specifically for you as we go through the week. Going to be some brisk weather. At the very least, unlike the record heat we had last weekend, we will not be having record heat this weekend. So here we go. Roller coaster, that is for sure. Rain tomorrow. Highest chances early in the morning. Might be a second round for some of us later in the day. Most of us dry on Wednesday and warm. Then Thursday, wind chill factor. Look at Friday. Despite sunshine, high temperatures for many of us might not even make it to 60. And although I'm showing you lower 40s officially, some inland areas on Friday and Saturday morning might make it down into the upper 30s.
You're watching First Coast News on your side with meteorologist Tim Deegan and sports director Chris Porter.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us for First Coast News at 11 on this Monday. Almost Friday, Heather. Right?
Almost. Just a few more days, right? Thank you for being with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. GMJ starts at 4:30. Good night.